Welcome to video 3 in our Filmora training series. Now that we have our basic composition started, we're going to add some B-roll. If you want to jump back to the previous video where we covered some of the more basic editing tools, you can check it out here, or find any of the videos in this series in the description. Now let's jump back in to Filmora X. The next thing we will look at is adding some titles and B-roll. So for all of my YouTube videos, I add a few of the same graphics. So I'm going to pop my name down in about 15 seconds in, and you can see what that looks like is covering the whole screen, which is not what I want. So I can adjust the size of that by double clicking it, and you can see that I've got the correct layer selected because it's outlined in blue here. I'm going to scale it down until it's an appropriate size, and then I can literally drag it to where I want it to be. We might put it on this side. You can read it a little bit better. Or if I want to refine that, I can drag this X value until it's sitting where I want it to be. Then when I'm happy with where that's positioned, I can hit OK. The next thing I want to do is add some B-roll of these girls listening to some music, because this video is all about finding music for your videos. So I would go through and find an appropriate time to add some B-roll, and I'm going to add it just here where I start speaking again. First, I'm going to zoom in. I'm just going to tidy up this break where I've taken a breath here. And then I'm going to double click on this clip here, which I quite like, preview it. So this clip goes for 10 seconds, which is a bit long for a clip of B-roll. Normally, you'd want to keep your B-roll between 2 to 5 seconds, depending on the pace of the video, to keep it moving, keep it interesting. Because if B-roll is too long and it starts to drag, it can really slow down the whole feel of your video, where you want to keep things moving and keep the screen refreshing as much as possible to keep your viewers entertained, because we all know that attention spans are just getting shorter when it comes to anything on the internet. So a shortcut we can use to make this clip a bit shorter is to use these mark in and mark out tools here. So I'm going to play my clip again from the beginning. And she's drinking some coffee, she's jamming out. So the part of the clip that I want to use, I'm going to take it back to where she reaches for her coffee. So I'm going to mark in there. I'm going to play through. And for me, that feels like the end of the shot. That's a logical place. I'm going to mark out. So that has done basically some pre-editing before we even put the clip on the timeline. What I can do now is grab it and drag it from this preview window to where I want it to be on the timeline. And you can see this clip goes for just over 5 seconds. So I'll leave it at that for now, and I will grab my next clip, which I'll use this girl who's talking to a camera here, maybe doing some vlogging. So I'm just going to use the first part of that clip. I'm going to take it back and add an out point there. I'm going to drag it down, butt it at the end of this clip. And then I'm going to add one more, which will be this girl listening to music in some headphones. She's having a real good time. So I'll mark an in point there. I will scrub through, mark an out point, drag and place. Now that clip looks like it goes for way too long. But what I'm going to do is play through my video and match it to the pacing of my voice. So I'm probably going to make these clips a lot shorter because I do tend to talk pretty fast, and I want the clips to be changing pretty quickly as well to keep with the flow and feel of the video. So I'm going to play through my sequence and see where I want to adjust this B-roll.
Out into the world using video. So to start with, our free music options. Number 1 is YouTube's audio library.
So this shot drags on a little bit too long, and the pause that I've got here is a bit too big as well. So what I'm going to do, position my playhead, select the clip, press the cut tool. I see the cut tool will only cut the clip you've selected. If you have nothing selected, it'll cut everything. So I'm going to undo that. I'm just going to take a few frames out of that gap, and then I'm going to bring this B-roll clip in line with where my new sentence starts.
Video. So to start with, our free music options. Number one is YouTube's audio.
And I'm going to zoom in and just refine that a little further. And I've just noticed I've repeated myself. I've changed the sentence slightly here. So I'm going to click on this clip, cut it, delete it, and bring this one back in line there. If you press the Enter key, that will render all your files on the timeline so you can play your video back more smoothly. So I'm pretty happy with how this B-roll is looking now. If I zoom in, I can see that my B-roll clips all go for about 3 seconds each, which is pretty much spot on for pacing. I've lined it up with natural pauses or new sentences in my speech so that it matches the flow and helps the rhythm of the video. I hope you're starting to feel a bit more comfortable with Filmora, but if you are feeling overwhelmed, that is totally okay. There are a lot of things to remember when you first start to edit videos. Now is another great time to jump back into Filmora for yourself and practice what we did today. When you're ready, in the next video, we're going to add some music to our composition. I'll see you there.